Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Makayla. In this video today, we're just gonna have a little chit chat because I want to talk to you all about why it's so important for you to have a vision for your relationships. Now, me personally, I believe that most relationships fail because of the lack of vision. Now, statistically speaking, over 50% of marriages end in divorce. And so think about all the relationships that never even made it to marriage. So that's almost like 100% of relationships nowadays. They're just failing. So what can we do about that? I believe that everyone needs to have a vision for their life and for their relationship. The Bible tells us where there is no vision, the people perish. And that goes for all areas of life, not just for your career, not just for your success, but for your relationships as well. So right now I'm 25 years old and I am single, and this is honestly the happiest I've been because I've had more time to reflect on myself, get to know myself, build my relationship with God, figure out what it is that I want. So now that I've had this time to work on myself, I feel more confident about going into a relationship in the future because now I know the type of relationship that I want to have, the type of marriage that I want to have, the type of family unit that I want to have in the future because I've had time to create that vision for myself. And when I was in college, I didn't have that. When I was in college, I didn't have a vision for what I wanted my relationships to look like. It's so easy to just kind of date around and, test the waters a little bit while you're in college because you think you're young and you think you have all the time in the world. I feel like I made so many mistakes in college in the area of dating because I just kind of went with the flow. I didn't really have a plan. I didn't have a vision for, the relationships that I was getting myself into. I kind of just dated people out of loneliness or boredom or because they were nice. And those are the wrong reasons to go into relationships. You don't want to go into a relationship just because it's convenient for you or just because you don't want to be by yourself. That's the wrong reason because you got to understand that God is very intentional and God is all about purpose. Everything that you do in life needs to serve a purpose and it needs to be meaningful. Relationships is not about just making you happy or just having somebody to go on dates with or take cute pictures with. It's so much more than that. It's about purpose. You want to make sure you are with someone who has the same goals as you, who has a vision for their life, whose vision aligns with your vision. But when you don't have that vision in place, you end up attracting all kinds of people who have the potential to pull you away from your destiny. God is very intentional and he's very purposeful. You want to make sure you are with someone who knows their purpose, who has a vision for their life, whose vision connects with your vision. If you don't have a vision for yourself, then how can you have a vision for your relationship? And if you don't have a vision for your relationship, how can you expect that relationship to be successful? So many people just jump into these relationships and then we're surprised when these relationships fail. When I was in my last relationship, I had to do a lot of soul searching because I started to feel like I wasn't being productive in this relationship. This relationship wasn't bearing any fruit. Is your relationship bearing fruit? That's what I would ask anybody who's in a relationship right now. Is your relationship bearing fruit? Is your relationship taking you where you want to go? Are you happy with where you are in this relationship? Are you happy with the person you are in this relationship? I had to ask myself a lot of tough questions when I was in my last relationship. Is this relationship producing any fruit? Am I happy with the person I am in this relationship? Am I working towards becoming the person I want to become? Is this relationship bringing me closer to God or is it pulling me away from God? Sometimes the devil will send relationships your way to pull you out of the will of God. When the devil wants to distract God's people, he sends other people. That's why it's so important for you to have discernment in your relationships. It's so important for you to have a vision that you're focused on, because when you are laser focused on a vision that you've submitted to God, then it's going to be very, very hard for the enemy to send counterfeits your way. But when you don't have a vision, when you're just kind of going with the flow, you're not really putting any effort into it, you're not caring, you're just talking to people just to talk to people, you're entertaining people just because you can at that time, that is a setup for failure. That is a setup for the enemy to send people your way to distract you. Once I started to get a clear vision for myself, I knew I had to end my last relationship because I knew it wasn't producing any fruit. I knew it wasn't pushing me into my purpose. I knew it was pulling me out of the will of God. So that's what I encourage you all to do. I encourage you all to ask yourself the tough questions. Is this relationship pushing me closer to my purpose? Am I becoming the person I want to become while I'm in this relationship? If you do not have a vision for your relationship, then it is so much more likely to fail. And I'm not saying, talk about marriage and kids on the first date. I'm saying spend time getting to know that person. Spend time thoroughly getting to know that person and making sure that your vision aligns with the vision that your potential partner has, so that both of your visions can be in sync. Both of you can come together and work towards your vision together. Relationships are about purpose and glorifying God. So you want to make sure you're very intentional with your relationships. You want to make sure your relationships are meaningful and have purpose and that they're not just wasting time. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this little chit chat. If you have any other suggestions or any other topics you want me to talk about, go ahead and leave those down in the comments and I will check in with y'all later. Bye.